Have you ever ignored a tiny problem because it didn't seem important enough to deal with? And then a few weeks later, that tiny problem wasn't so tiny anymore? Sometimes the easiest time to deal with a problem is right at the beginning. Hello everyone and welcome back to Daily English. Today's expression is nip it in the bud. One more time, nip it in the bud. To nip something in the bud means to deal with a problem at an early stage, before it has the chance to grow into something bigger or more difficult. The expression actually comes from gardening. A bud is a flower or leaf before it fully develops. If you nip or remove the bud, it never gets the chance to grow. And we use the same image when we talk about problems. Let's look at two examples. Imagine you've recently started going to bed later and later. At first, it's only half an hour. Then you start scrolling on your phone until 1 in the morning. A few weeks later, you're exhausted every morning. You notice what's happening and think, I need to nip this habit in the bud before it becomes my new routine. So you start leaving your phone outside the bedroom. The habit is still relatively new, which makes it much easier to change. Sometimes the best time to change a pattern is before it starts feeling normal. Or imagine a close friend suddenly seems a little distant. Their messages are shorter. They've canceled plans twice, and instead of asking what's wrong, you start creating explanations in your head. Maybe they're annoyed with me. Maybe I said something wrong. Meanwhile, your friend notices that you've become quieter too. Now, both of you are making assumptions. Before that small distance grows into resentment, one of you finally says, I feel like something has been a little off between us lately. Can we talk about it? I'd rather nip this in the bud. And it turns out there was no big problem. Your friend had simply been going through a stressful week. One honest conversation stopped a small misunderstanding from becoming a much bigger one. Big problems don't always begin as big problems. Sometimes they begin as something we keep postponing, a conversation we avoid, a habit we keep excusing, a little resentment we don't address. And because it still seems small, we tell ourselves, I'll deal with it later. But later can make things harder. Dealing with it really can save us a lot of difficulty later. Now it's your turn. Can you think of something you dealt with early and were later grateful that you did? Or perhaps there's a small problem in your life right now that would be much easier to address before it grows. Thank you for being here today. Have a wonderful day ahead of you and see you tomorrow.